Dan Illman, Mike Beer, taking a look at the feature race at Churchill Downs on Saturday. Let's throw up the field for race number 9. It's the Grade 3 Ack Ack Stakes. We're going a one-turn mile. $100,000 is the purse. Perhaps this race will be a prep for the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. The One Warrior's Charge is the 9-5 morning line favorite for Florent Giroux and Brad Cox. And this horse, he might have been best last time out in the Illman, Mike. That didn't work out for him, that trip late.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. I don't know, Dan. To me, he makes a lot of sense. I can see why he's the morning line favorite, considering he has the rail with an aggressive rider with a lot of early speed as well. I just think you're going to see him on the front in this race.
I think he's going to make the front as well, but Timeform US makes a good point with its pace projector. There are other horses in here that are plenty quick, and they might at least push Warrior's Charge early and perhaps make him susceptible to a late run. When the 6 Pioneer Spirit is in form, he is very, very fast. Maybe he's not in his best form right now, but you'll know him early. And I think the 12 Home Base also has some speed, although probably not of the caliber of the 1 and the 6.
Yeah, that's probably true. And we'll see. I feel like this all depends on what Florent Giroux wants to do, because I do think that Warrior's Charge is just a faster horse early in this race than Pioneer Spirit is the 6. So, we'll see how they decide to play it. I got to believe that breaking from the rail, going a one-turn mile, they're going to send this horse.
And I think Warrior's Charge has proven that he's just more effective when he's on the lead. In the Metropolitan Handicap, they decided to sit off of Vekoma and let Vekoma get away, and he just didn't fire. Let's watch his last race, the Illman, where he's placed first via disqualification. He was the 1-2 favorite in this short field. He caught a very sharp horse in Pirate's Punch, who pushed them all the way. He's down towards the inside. You're going to see Pirate's Punch come in and tighten it up on Warrior's Charge, and Warrior's Charge is going to have to check and bang off the inside rail, and he's going to then get placed first via disqualification.
Yeah, he did get placed first. I don't know if I really felt like he was going to win that race, Dan, but the stewards gave it to him anyway. And he ran fine, I guess. His Metropolitan Mile, I agree with your take on it. I was surprised they just kind of rode him so conservatively, and a mile that did not have a fast pace. He didn't run poorly at all in there. But they could have gotten more aggressive with him. I think they will do that here. In a lot of ways, he's the horse to beat. I just don't know how short a price I'd want to take on him.
Although Bourbon Calling won this race that we're going to show, the Russell Road at Charlestown, going a 2-turn 7/8 of a mile, he has winning experience at Churchill Downs. This is arguably his favorite track, Churchill, where he's won 3 times. Bourbon Calling's on the outside. There's not a lot of stretch at Charlestown, so I'm willing to give him some credit for really digging down deep and running down this horse on the lead.
I'm going to give him some credit for getting up there as well. You know what? A fast pace really helps this horse thing because he does not have a lot of speed. He will run at the end of his races, though. So if that pace projector is right, this horse has a chance to get a piece of this at least. I wonder how far he wants to go. That was my big question with this horse. Not only does he have some class concerns, but is he really a miler or is he more of a sprinter?
Bourbon Calling might be returning to his favorite track. This is Proverb, the number 3's best distance, a mile. Let's watch his win last time out at Ellis Park. And this trip and ride worked out very nice. Nice ride by Gabriel Size. He finds the inside, and he's going to shoot right on through. And as the favorite, he's supposed to beat these horses with this kind of trip, and he does so. The issue is the buyer speed figure came back really light in 86, but he does like the mile. He should get some pace to run at. I do think he has a little bit of upside, but he is going to have to obviously improve.
I agree with all that stuff. I thought he looked good winning that race last time. He didn't come back very fast, but he ran well in there, I thought. I don't know if he's this good. We'll see what kind of a trip he can get in this race and if he can take a step forward. If he takes a step forward, I can see him making some noise at a big price.
American Anthem, the number 4, has credentials on the go back. He was a multiple graded stakes winner as a 3-year-old. He was purchased at public auction. Michael Maker took over. They tried him on the turf. I'm not going to hold that race against him, against one of the better turf sprinters in the country in Imprimis. His Carter, he was never winning, but he's never going to beat a horse like Vekoma. He is a very intriguing horse if he can sit and finish. And I think that's a question with American Anthem. I think he's more effective when he's on the lead, and I just don't see him making the lead here.
I agree with all those things. And I also just sort of wonder, what kind of form he's really in right now. His last 3 dirt races, all 3 of the ones this year so far, he's run fine, but I don't know. I didn't see big excuses for him in any of those races, Dan. He's a contender with his good race. He's just not my kind of horse. He's going to be, I guess, one of the shorter prices in this race, and I just don't like the form that he's in.
Is Mr. Money just too off form for you to take at what could be one of the better prices he's going to be in a long time? I mean, he was the beaten favorite in the Charlestown Classic, and he didn't have to like running 1 1/8 at Charlestown over that bull ring, and he mid-moved into that race. And then they sprinted him at Keeneland against CZ Rocket, 2 back, and CZ Rocket's just a pretty good sprinter who's just turned out to be really good right now. Mr. Money obviously has the back class to win a race like this, and he likes Churchill Downs. I'm just really worried about the form he's bringing to the table in 2020.
I have the same concerns that you do. I really like the 1-turn mile for him. I really feel like that's kind of what he wants to do. We did the video preview for the Charlestown Classic last time, Dan, and I made a case for him in there. Even though I don't like him going 9 furlongs, I just thought that 3-turn configuration at Charlestown might actually work for him because he has really good tactical speed with the short stretch. I thought maybe it would work out for him. Couldn't have been more wrong about that. He finished last. Now he's cutting back to a 1-turn mile. I think this is a good distance for him. I'll use him if he's around that morning line price because I think he fits really well in here with his good race.
Pioneer Spirit, the number 6, no knocks on his lifetime record. He's seeking his 13th lifetime victory. It's just you worry about his current form. His 2 starts since returning from the break, beaten favorite both times, really no response when pressured in both of those races. The way this race shapes up, if he's going to go after Warrior's Charge early, it really could work against this horse.
Yeah, I think it really can too. He's a really good horse, and he's dead game when he's on his game. He's really hard to pass in the stretch. But as you have already pointed out, his recent form has not been good. There's other speed for him to deal with in this race. I'm going to take a wait and see approach here, realizing that if he somehow has a flashback and runs one of his good races, he's tough in here.
He's supposed to draw a line through Alcatam's last race. I mean, he's never going to win the Stephen Foster against a couple of the better older horses in the country and Tom's D'Etat by my standards. His race 2 starts back was okay. That was a solid enough pace. He stayed close, and he pulled off a gigantic upset to win. Now, this is a horse that I think is just going to be completely outrun in the early portion of this race. And maybe if there is a meltdown, he can come and get a piece of this at a giant price.
Yeah, I can see that happening. A fast pace would help him. And he's already pulled off 2 big upsets so far this year. Maybe he can do it again.
Eben was entered for $30,000 back in April, and he got beat that day. He's just gotten good for Steve Margolis in his last 3 races, however, 2 of them at Churchill Downs. He'll be seeking his 4th consecutive victory, and the buyer that he earned last time out puts him in the mix. It's worth noting that that was a race where the pace just completely held up. Eben and the runner-up, My Sixth Sense, just battled it out from start to finish.
Yeah, it felt like they had the best of it there, and this horse wound up prevailing with a new top figure. That 96 does give him a chance in here, and he has won 3 races in a row, so they're stepping him up at the right time, Dan. I want to see him do it again in this race. There's way more speed for him to contend with in here. It's quality speed as well, and to me, he has an awful lot to prove.
I know a lot of folks are probably off of Bankit. They see the 7 lifetime runner-up efforts. They know there's been a lot of close but no cigar finishes. They realize that all 3 of his lifetime wins have come against New York breds. But perhaps if ever there's a spot for him in a big race, it's this one. Because we know he doesn't have a lot of early speed. We know he needs pace, and he's likely going to be running at the end.
Yeah, and you know that his good race would give him a real chance in here too. I can't say that I love him, but if he's going to be double-digit odds come post time, I'm going to use this horse somewhere.
Thirst for Life might have been compromised by the lack of pace in that Eben race that we mentioned when talking about that horse. He was trying to come from way out of it that day. He didn't really have the greatest and cleanest of trips. I thought it was an okay performance for a horse that I pretty much written off at this point last year, is that maybe he was getting a little bit long in the tooth. It looks like there's still a little bit of life left in Thirst for Life.
Yeah, it was nice to see him put in a run, a couple of runs actually, in 2 of his last 3 races. So we'll see. He's got the back class. Like you, I just thought it was all over for this horse earlier this year and towards the end of last year, but maybe he's coming around again. If he comes around again, he's got back races.
One of them was a runner-up effort in this race last year. Dinar is the number 11, lightly raced 4-year-old. It's possible we've yet to see his best. Let's watch his most recent start at Saratoga. Down towards the inside at a big price in an optional claiming race. kind of just one-paced all the way down to the wire, Mike. I was a little disappointed that he couldn't get second.
Yeah, he didn't run great in here. I will just point out this was the softest of soft paces, going 7 furlongs over that track. The winner strike that just crawled on the lead. So it certainly compromised him, and it compromised a couple of others as well. Listen, he's just got to take a big step forward here. I think he does have some talent there, and I like the one-turn mile from him, but he's got to improve.
Home base, the 12 has some things going against him. A, the distance. I'm really not sure a mile is his best game. He's probably at his best going 6.5, 7. B, he likes to be up close to the pace, and I just think the pace is going to be faster than what he's usually experienced. 3, there's some class considerations as well.
Yeah, I agree. I thought there was a lot working against this horse. He's a big price. So if you like him and you think they're just going to send him and maybe he'll make the front, I won't argue with anybody taking a shot. But I just sort of feel like if you do take him, you are taking a shot.
Let's take a look at our top picks for the Grade 3 Ack Ack Stakes. You're going to see that we're covered in confusion. We have 8 different selections in this race. And the more I think of it, your horse actually makes a lot of sense in here, and that's the 13 Everfast, who was in the 4-go last time out over a wet track, and he didn't have to like that wet track. His race 2 starts back, I thought, was a nice breakthrough performance. I think Jack Sisterson does a very good job. And if we know one thing about Everfast is, if you give him some pace, he will run late, and he likes a mile.
That's what I liked about him. I like this distance for him, and I like the trip that he projects to get if they go fast early. I think he's really going to appreciate that. Jack Sisterson, he's just done a really good job there. I'm used to seeing him now. It feels like it's old hat. He takes over horses, and he improves them, it seems like. And I think he's done that with Everfast. His win, too, back at Saratoga, that was a race he was supposed to win. He looked really good winning that race, but that was a field he was supposed to beat. I'm actually interested in it because of the last time they won a one-turn mile here in the Blame. He ran a giant race to just miss to Owendale. And I think if he runs that race, he's going to be really tough in here.
And 10-1 on the morning line. You can't argue with that with a horse that has run the races that he's run in the past. He's classic placed. I just kind of threw my hands up and I said, well, Eben's very sharp right now, and he's got a little bit of tactical speed. I don't think he needs to be as close as he was last time to win. I think he's just seeing dead red right now, especially at Churchill Downs, and I think he's got a drift. I think the odds are going to, Eben and Everfast are going to flip-flop on a tote board. I'm going 8-1-4-2. Mike's going 13-5-11. That means try to take the 3 in the Grade 3 Ack Ack at Churchill Downs. It's your feature on Saturday.